Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast. It's game night, it's sibling rivalry, it's a walk down memory lane, but most importantly, it's politics free.
Guaranteed.
Welcome to round 2 of Trial by Trolley. Real quick, the game instructions are the same for every episode of this game. If you're following along or this is not your first Trial by Trolley episode, skip ahead about 2.5 minutes if you don't want to listen to the whole thing again. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. On each one is either an innocent or a guilty party. For example, on a guilty card, we might see a bunch of mafia thugs. And on an innocent card, we might see the world's greatest physicist. Now, imagine we are conducting a trolley and we're coming up to a split track. We can't stop the trolley. We have to switch it onto one of the tracks, but there is someone or something tied to each track. No matter which way we go, we are going to kill someone or destroy something. At first glance, the choice may seem simple. Using our example above, it would be easy for us to say, run over the mafia thugs and save the physicist. But there's a catch. And this is where we bring in the modifier cards. The modifier cards contain handy statements such as, killing them will release the 13 kids they have trapped in their basement, and would literally give you the shirt off their back. Now, if the world's greatest physicist has 13 kids trapped in their basement, and the mafia thugs would literally give you the shirt off their back, maybe the choice is no longer quite so clear. So here's what we're going to do. First, I'll read Ryan his cards, letting him know who or what is tied to each of the tracks, and he'll have to explain to me who he saves and doesn't save and why. Then we'll throw in the modifier cards and see if that doesn't change his mind at all. Then we'll switch it around and it'll be my turn. The scoring is entirely subjective. We can choose to reward or not reward each other however many points we want, and the other person just has to suck it up. Whoever scores the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy.
Until we play again.
It should be noted that we are playing a modified version of this game because the correctly played version was too difficult for me to translate into podcast form. Also, once again, the game is called Trial by Trolley. It is sold by Skybound Games and is available at store.skybound.com. Link in the show notes. They are not a sponsor. The current running score is Ryan 5,
Yep.
Heather 4,
Mm-hmm.
because Heather didn't bring her brain to the last round of this game. Ryan, are you ready for your cards?
I'm ready.
Excellent. On track number 1, a winning lottery ticket with your name on it. On track number 2, a happy 3-legged dog.
I'm taking out the dog.
And explain to me your reasoning.
Well, Heather, money makes the world go round, and it's just one dog. I'm sorry, but I could do a lot of good with a lot of money. And that's what I choose.
Well, that's how you feel now, but what happens when we do the modifier cards? On track number 1, a winning lottery ticket with your name on it just robbed a convenience store at gunpoint. On track number 2, a happy 3-legged dog owns the patent on a life-saving leukemia drug but won't sell it for less than $1 billion.
Oh, well then I will most certainly run the dog over.
These modifier cards need to have something good on them too. They're all just bad stuff.
And why would I run over the dog? Because if he's dead, then he doesn't own the patents anymore.
Fair enough. Or you can buy the patent with your lottery winnings.
Not if I kill the dog.
Whoever it gets left to. I mean, the dog has a will, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
I guess. Since he also has a patent, why not? All right, I tell you what, I am going to give you 1 point for that because no matter which way we go, a happy three-legged dog dies. And I don't feel good about that. 1 point for you.
Okay, Heather.
Now you're going to retaliate by giving me negative points again. It's fine.
Only if you say stupid stuff.
Ryan?
Yes.
Here's your second set of cards. On track number 1, the guy who keeps deciding we need another Fast and Furious movie.
Mm-hmm.
On track number 2, Nickelback. Who do you save and why?
Oh. Well, listen, I don't watch the Fast and the Furious movies, and I don't listen to Nickelback, so it's really a toss-up for me. Like, I'll flip a coin on this one.
Well, I need a decision. I know what the answer is.
Where's my... Oh, hey, look, a coin. All right. Heads, it's Nickelback. Tails, it's the Fast and the Furious guy. Tails, I'm killing the Fast and the Furious guy.
But what happens when we add the modifier cards? On track number 1, the guy who keeps deciding we need another Fast and Furious movie just kidnapped a family of 4. Well, that doesn't really help my case over here. On track number 2, Nickelback just woke up from a 10-year coma.
Guess who I'm running over, Heather? The Fast and the Furious guy.
Okay, Ryan,
Uh-huh.
I want you to hear me out on this one.
Okay.
Nickelback is the worst band in living creation. Nickelback is worse than just listening to Creole music on repeat. No offense to fans of that genre. I can't avoid Nickelback. If they're on the radio, or I'm somewhere where somebody's listening to the radio and it comes on, I can't get away. I can conscientiously choose not to watch any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Mm-hmm. You still listen to the radio?
Yeah, don't you?
No.
You don't, Sonny? You don't listen to the radio?
No.
Do you see me with my old cane?
If I want to listen to people talking, I'm going to listen to podcasts. If I want to listen to music, I'm using, like, YouTube Music or Spotify or Pandora. And I can control what I'm listening to.
I also use all of those things, but in the car, when the connection is broken and I can't play my phone in the car, I listen to the radio. And sometimes Nickelback assaults me when I'm listening to the radio, and I don't appreciate that. I'm going to give you 0 because you had to flip a coin and you didn't have a clear answer of your own. Also, I must add, Nickelback just woke up from a 10-year coma. They should have stayed in it. I mean, the answer could not be more clear here, in my personal opinion.
Okay. No, so let's... hold on. We got to go back here for a second, okay?
Uh-huh.
I don't like either. I equally hate them both. I do not listen to Nickelback.
Okay.
All right? I don't watch the Fast and Furious movies because after the second one, it was just dumb, cheesy, shitty movies. And somehow they keep getting made. They're just as bad as Nickelback. So what am I to do? Like, if I can't make up my mind, I'm going to flip a coin.
Okay. I like what you're saying here.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, and I was being a little unfair, I have actually not seen a single Fast and Furious movie. Because I did see a preview for one time, and I was like, no.
Well, Heather, you don't like action flicks, and you don't like car chasing scenes. You don't.
It's a whole movie.
So,
of
I mean,
car
like,
chasing
that's
scenes.
literally the whole movie. It's like, these movies, like, even the very first movie, Heather, you would hate. You would hate it. You would stop, like, if you fast forwarded through all the car chase scenes, Heather, you would watch about 5 minutes of movie.
Ryan, I'm going to award you 2 points.
Thank you.
Let's move on. On track number 1, a ruthless and deadly hitman. On track number 2, a bunch of nuns having fun.
I'm running over the hitman. Because
Good call.
the nuns haven't done anything to me. They haven't done anything to anybody. The hitman keeps killing people. And he is a hitman, so he could be killing good people.
In the picture, a bunch of cute little nuns are kicking around a soccer ball.
That is adorable.
It's very adorable. It's adorable. All right. Well, that's how you feel now. But Ryan, what happens when we add the modifier cards? On track number 1, a ruthless and deadly hitman doesn't cover their mouth when they cough.
Oh, wow. Is that how he kills people? Is that how he kills people?
He kills people with disease. Oh my God.
Terrible.
He's a pathogen. On track number 2, a bunch of nuns having fun are number 1 on the FBI's most wanted list.
Ooh. Does the FBI track like money launderers? Like would white collar people be on like the most wanted for the FBI?
Let's ask Google. Murderers, sexual predators, terrorists, kidnappers, bank robbers, arsonists, drug traffickers, gangsters, extortionists. I don't think we're looking at white collar crime going on the FBI's most wanted.
They could be bank robbers, okay? Hear me out. Let's take... Okay, they could be bank robbers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they could be nonviolent bank robbers. They could be the people that like just show up with a note and be like, we're robbing this bank. And then they like give them the money because they're FDIC insured. So it's not like they're really losing out on their money. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Take our money. We'll just get the FBI involved later. Okay. So still, it's not a victimless crime, but they're not hurting anybody per se. Whereas the hitman, what was his modifier again? Oh, he doesn't cover his mouth when he coughs. Not only is he knocking off all the people that he's hired to knock off, but now he's spreading his diseases. He's spreading his AIDS to everybody around him.
Okay,
I'm running over that guy.
Just want to clarify, probably you don't get AIDS from people coughing.
Yeah, highly unlikely, but it was a good example.
Sure. Ryan, that was a very logical, coherent argument. You gave it really logical thought. I'm going to give you 5 points for that answer. I
Heather,
liked that.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my God. Heather, thank you. I'm going to try and be more logical and coherent on the next one.
Okay. Well, that brings your total running score to 13, and you scored 8 points on the round. So let's see what I get.
Heather, I'm just going to say, I hope you play your set of cards how I would play these set of cards. And if you do, I'm probably going to give you some massive points for it.
Well, I feel my hopes crashing out into the abyss of hell right now after you said that, because I know what I'm going to say here, but I feel like it's not what because that sounds amazing. You made that sound amazing. I don't think I have amazing in me. Let's see.
All right, you ready? Are you ready for your cards,
Yeah.
Heather? All right. On track number 1, a serial axe murderer. On track number 2, a pedophile approaching a playground. Who do you save and why?
Ryan, here's the thing. I don't want a pedophile to be approaching a playground.
Sure.
But hear me out on this scenario.
Okay.
Kids these days are wise.
Yes.
Okay? They're going nowhere with the pedophile.
Sure.
They're going to kick the pedophile in the nuts and get out of there. A serial axe murderer kills people brutally with an axe.
Did not go the way I was hoping.
I know it didn't.
Go ahead, Heather.
I'm going to take out the serial axe murderer.
Are you really?
Yeah. The axe murderer goes around killing people.
Yeah.
The pedophile gets kicked in the nuts.
What happens if he's going around murdering axes?
Well, then the world has less axes in it, which I didn't know that was a tongue twister until we just got to this point. Okay, you know what? It's not over yet because I still got my modifier cards.
All right.
On track number 1, a serial axe murderer just had a philosophical epiphany that will change the world. Great. Fantastic. On track number 2, a pedophile approaching a playground will survive and enter a 20-year coma if hit, but when they awake, will stop at nothing to hunt you down. Well. Ryan. First of all, nobody will ever have a philosophical epiphany that will change the world.
That does not matter. Remember, we're in a fictitious land here where this does apply. This will happen in this world.
I guess in this case, I have to hit the pedophile because A, it's going to put him in a 20-year coma. And then B, all his attention is going to be focused on killing me instead of being a pedophile when he does wake up.
Right.
So I can save a lot of children from trauma. Plus, yeah, he's going around axing people, but also changing the world for the better, I guess, somehow. Amazingly. So I guess that's where I'm at on this.
What happens if his philosophical epiphany makes him stop murdering people? Because it's going to change the world.
Well, Ryan, that's what I was going to say. So you took the words right out of my mouth.
Heather, I am not going to award you massive amounts of points because I really would have gone another direction with this. But I will give you 3 points because I liked your answers anyway.
I'll take that. And I'm interested to hear where your genius mind was going to take
I was just going to say, listen, I'm going to run over the pedophile because I don't care about axes. He can murder all the axes he wants. It's not hurting anybody.
Okay, so your path was dad joke.
Yeah, I was going to take it literally. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like going back and knocking points off of your score for that answer.
Nope, you can't.
All right. Hit me with the next ones.
All right. Heather. On track number 1, your evil twin. On track number 2, your childhood bully. Who do you run over and why?
Well, Ryan, I'm going to run over my evil twin because you know what? I have fully forgiven my childhood bully. And I don't know how my childhood bully has turned out as an adult. He could be a fantastic person doing wonderful things right now. He could have changed his ways.
You had a childhood bully?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like a physical beat-me-up bully.
Really?
In South Africa. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. Yes. I'm beeping that name out. Because again, I don't know. He could be a great person now.
Sure.
But yeah, so I would hit my evil twin because my evil twin's going to go around. Everyone's going to think that's me.
Sure.
Going to frame me for murder. We've got the same DNA. I can't have that. I got to knock that out.
I agree. I agree with you, Heather. So what are the modifier cards here?
On track number 1, your evil twin makes way more money than you do. On track number 2, your childhood bully is on their way to ask you out. Well, easy peasy. I'm still going to hit my evil twin. Then I get the money, probably. And then I can say, no, I'm married to my childhood bully. So it all works out for me.
Wonderful, Heather. I will give you 2 points for that.
Phenomenal.
All right, Heather.
Yeah.
On track number 1, a lost hitchhiker following the tracks back to civilization. Oh, this is a real hard one. On track number 2, a KKK recruitment center. Who do you save and why?
Ryan, hear me out on this one. I'm kidding. It's the KKK recruitment center.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I don't save them. I hit them with the trolley. Obviously, I'm going to save the lost hitchhiker following the tracks back to civilization.
Right.
I'm going to take out the KKK recruitment center. But what about the modifier cards? I can tell you right now, I'm probably still going to take out the KKK recruitment center. But
why? You haven't said why, Heather. Why would you take out the KKK recruitment center?
I would take them out because of all the, because it's the KKK. What? I don't need a reason. That's a reason.
Okay, fair enough.
But what about
the modifier
cards? On track number 1, a lost hitchhiker following the tracks back to civilization brought their daughter to take your kid to the trolley tracks day. So their kids are with them. On track number 2, a KKK recruitment center practices witchcraft and will curse you to the same fate in their final breath if hit. Well, curses bounce off me because I'm rubber and they're glue or something.
That's not how that works in this world, Heather.
I'm curse proof. I'm curse proof. Heather, I cannot be cursed.
Not in this world.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Ryan.
Mhm.
I got this covered. I'm still going to hit the KKK recruitment center because of the assholeness.
Right.
And I'm not going to hit the hitchhiker and his kids.
Or your kid, for that matter. Because isn't he taking your kid too?
Well, he brought his daughter
Oh, okay.
to take your kid to the trolley tracks day. A curse. So I've been cursed by the KKK, which means I'm going to die by trolley as well.
Yes.
But I know a little something about Greek mythology and tragedy. And what I know is when you get cursed and you go out of your way to prevent getting the curse on you, your action directly leads to the end result of the curse. Do you see what I'm saying?
So you still get hit by a trolley.
No, you dork. I don't get hit by the trolley because I don't go out of my way to prevent being hit by trolleys. In fact, I live on a trolley track for the rest of my life in anticipation of this curse, and it never comes.
That's not how it works in this world, Heather. You will be hit by a trolley if you run over the KKK recruitment center.
I'm still running over the KKK recruitment center, Ryan.
Okay, thank you.
I'm still doing it.
But just know that you're going to get hit by a trolley because of the curse.
That remains to be seen, Ryan.
All right, Heather. I will not give you any points for that. I'm just kidding. I will give you 2 points.
That gives me 11 points. 11 running points, 7 points on the round. You won the round by 1 point. Ryan, you get the gloating rights trophy.
It just doesn't feel as good.
Because you know my answer was bomb and you're pissing all over it because of your lack of understanding of how curses and prophecies work? I understand. Believe me. Okay, we are going on to listener. Actually, it's Reddit stories. I thought it would be fun because of the lottery ticket card that we got.
Oh, Heather!
What?
Heather, I have to tell you a story that happened to me yesterday.
Oh, please do.
So I went to go check our lottery tickets, and I scanned the first one, and it says, please see the attendant. And I went, holy shit, I just won the fucking lottery. This is like, because I've always wondered, what happens when you hit the jackpot? Like, does it like, hey, you just won $325 billion or whatever it is, right? Like, because like when you scan it, it's like, oh, you just won $6. You just won $9 for the whole store to see. So I was like, always wondering, like, if you win like a significant amount of money, how does it tell you? Because I feel like if it tells you like that you won $1 million, I'm going to get shanked and have my lottery ticket stolen from me.
Sure.
You know? So it says, please see attendant. I'm always like, oh my God, Heather, I just won the lottery. My heart was fucking racing, right? So I was like, let me scan this other ticket just to make sure there's nothing wonky with this machine. So I scan the other ticket and it says, sorry, not a winning lottery ticket. So I'm like, I throw it away. I'm like, I'm checking this one again, just in case. I scan, it says, please see attendants for assistance. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So I go to customer service and I was like, hey, it just told me I need to see you guys for assistance. I'm hoping that's a good thing. And I slide them the lottery ticket like, here we go, $1 million. And she scans it and she's like, huh. She's like, oh, it's because it hasn't been drawn yet. And I was like, son of a bitch. I was like,
checking it too early.
I was like, isn't it drawn on the 4th? She's like, yeah. It like they won't draw it until 7:00 tonight. And then I was like, I look at the lottery ticket and it's like the 4th of October, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was the 5th today. But usually it just tells you like this hasn't been drawn yet. Like that's the message you get when you check it too early. Not this time. Want to get my hopes up.
That is evil. I'm sorry that happened to you. Have you checked it since?
I have. It was not a winner.
I got inspired because the question that we're going to do from Reddit is, do you know someone who won the lottery? If so, how did it work out for them? And after compiling these stories, I was feeling inspired and lucky. I was like, I'm going to go buy some scratch cards. And I bought 7 scratch cards. And I was like, I'm going to win $5,555 because Those are the ones I like. And I'm going to have an awesome story to tell on the podcast tonight. And I scratched them and I basically won $3 on a lottery ticket.
Nice.
So, I mean, I won something, but it was like a super huge letdown.
You won the lottery.
Let's do some lottery winning stories from NVMK II. A high school teacher of my younger siblings had won the lottery, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He won 21 million Canadian. Didn't know he had a winning ticket for something like 4 months and found out after he got back from a trip to Asia or something.
Mm-hmm.
Had to leave his job teaching, which he loved, because students and fellow teachers were harassing him for money. The school faculty apparently got upset after he won. He only gave the entire staff $100 gift cards to Starbucks and felt they were entitled to more. No. You're not entitled to somebody else's lottery winnings. Sorry, folks. They won fair and square. You should have bought the winning ticket if you wanted it.
Yeah.
That said, Ryan, if you ever win a jackpot, I'll be like, will you buy me a house? Will you buy me a car? Could you also send me some gift cards?
If I ever, if we ever win like the jackpot and it's like millions of dollars, I will definitely be sharing with family members. You know, that's like one of the first things I'm going to do.
I've thought about that. I will buy mom and dad a house. Like if I ever win the lottery, mom and dad house, you and Rebecca, cars. I got it all worked out in my mind.
Heather, I want cash so I can decide what I want to spend it on.
Okay.
More
that's
lottery
fair.
tickets?
I'll just send a couple cool mil over your way. I would too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But since that's never going to happen, let's go on with these lottery stories.
Never say never, Heather. Never say never, Heather. That is a tongue twister.
The second tongue twister of the episode. Amazing. How many more can we find? From I Say Cunt a Lot too. Great name, by the way. My grandfather won $30,000 in Australia in 1977, not long after Lotto was introduced. It bought him a truck to run his own business and a house in a nice suburb, which he and my grandmother lived in until they passed away. It also brought out people looking for handouts, which ultimately drove my grandfather away from close friends and turned him into a reclusive semi-alcoholic.
That's like the worst
Seriously.
part about it. Like, I feel like my friends, I don't really have like a large group of friends. You know what I mean? Like, but that's one thing I know is like, I wish that winning the lottery didn't have to be like public knowledge. Like I should be able to win the lottery and not have the whole nation know that I won the lottery, because that's like the one thing that I'm concerned about is like everybody like wanting handouts.
I believe you do have the option not to have it publicly announced. I do believe that option exists. Back in the day, like in the 50s or something like that, they would publish the home address of lottery winners with their name in the paper. There's a whole true crime story around it.
Really?
And it's what prompted them to stop basically doxing lottery winners.
Yeah.
But anyway, next one. By the way, none of these are funny. They're just interesting to me.
Yes. No, I agree.
So, okay. From Excuse Me, Fucker. Again, the names are great on this one. A former neighbor won $1 million 3, maybe 4 years ago by getting the 5 white balls on Powerball. She took the lump sum and ended up with roughly $550,000 after taxes and fees. She promptly started buying cars and giving people money like she had won $550 million. She didn't get a new roof or siding on her house like she needed to. About 10 months in, the cars were gone and replaced with a 5-year-old Honda. The roof and siding still needed repair. Thankfully, she sold and the new owners really fixed the house up. That's his concern. He's like, she didn't even fix her house. Luckily, somebody else bought it and fixed it. But she lost that money pretty fast, it would seem.
That's the thing is like if you won, if that's like what you ended up getting, like $550,000, I would share some money, but I'm buying a house. Like I'm going to buy a house outright. That way I never have to worry about housing ever again.
Yeah, and I'm going to buy a house that when the money's gone, I can keep up with, the insurance, the utilities, those kinds of things comfortably at what we are right now. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Rather than buying a mansion or something, which you couldn't really do that for $550,000. But say I won $2 million, I wouldn't buy like a $2 million house outright because I could never afford to keep that up. But you buy something
even if I was like a billionaire, I couldn't imagine living in a mansion. Like, it's just too much.
It's too much.
It is. It's like I just want a comfortable house,
Excuse Me Fucker has another great story.
Oh.
Similar to winning the lottery, my wife had a coworker whose very wealthy grandmother passed away. He was the only grandchild, and she spoiled the shit out of him for being 30 years old with a fairly well-paying job. When she died, he didn't even wait for the will to be read. He just quit, packed up his stuff, and walked out. About 2 weeks later, the news makes it to the office that she only left him $50,000. He assumed she was going to leave most of it to him, but she left the majority of her estate to different charities. He tried to get his old job back a month after he walked out, but they said no. Always get that will reading first, folks. That's what we learned there. From 2, because there's more than one of those somehow. A person I knew won one of the first lotteries in Florida. He won $7 million before taxes. It did not change him. He was already rich. Money goes to money. He won another big jackpot a few years later.
Unbelievable.
I love the reply to this one from a deleted account. Fuck that guy, and fuck the gods for smiling upon him.
Right?
From a deleted account, my parents won the Reader's Digest sweepstakes about 20 years ago, $5 million over 30 years, so about $160,000 a year. It's been wonderful for them. They were both teachers, so they were able to retire in their 50s, pay off their house and our college debts, travel all over the world, come visit us frequently, particularly after we produced a grandchild, buy a house in the town they grew up in for their retirement, and generally live a good, quiet life in their old age. They've helped us out around the edges too, but generally the money hasn't caused any family problems. It's been an absolute blessing. I thought it would be nice to have a happy lottery story in there.
That is a happy lottery story.
They have a slightly different situation because they're getting $160,000 a year for 30 years, which I guess makes it hard to spend it all at once.
Right.
But they also seem to have wisely handled their money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this one just made me laugh from Cookie Monster Gag. Once at work, a man told me his uncle won like $30 million in West Virginia. His uncle, being a lazy man, had his entire 10-acre backyard paved and painted green so he never had to mow again. Well, that does it for this episode. Folks, listen up. Where do you stand on the game that we played? Were you screaming at us about our choices? Let us know. Tell us your stories. We want to hear them. You can. Email. Go on Instagram or Reddit. Email is thepoliticsfreepodcast@outlook.com. Instagram is @thepoliticsfreepodcast, and our subreddit is all one word, Politics Free Podcast. Let me know. I'm dying to know. And also, of course, please share the podcast this week. If you haven't told anybody about it and you've been enjoying it, just pick one person and tell them about the podcast. And then make them listen, watch them, sit down, say, have you listened yet? Have you listened yet? No, I'm kidding. But at least tell them. And that'll do it.
Until we play again.